Hello, this is, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I am Melissa, and I have been doing some pretty climactic readings leading up to the full moon, which is kind of like, it's kind of climaxing right now as I'm filming this. It happens to be my birthday, so I feel particularly attuned to this moon. So yeah, we'll see what comes out. The readings leading up to this have been very... So when I did the split, we got the Ace of Wands and we got the Magician. So manifesting a passionate new start, fiery new beginning. When I pulled the Ace of Wands down, we got the Seven of Cups, we got the Hermit, we got the Six of Wands, we got the Two of Pentacles, the Chariot, and I mean, underneath that we have this sort of morass of like this Queen of Wands, you know, drawing boundaries and ending this era of anxiety and heartbreak, which that came out in yesterday's reading too, and it's been a theme that's been coming up a lot lately. But what I'm getting from all of this is I'm just sort of like, it's almost like this person who's been having to draw boundaries around this heartbreak and this anxiety and drama. It's like almost like they got thrown into this super confusing situation where it was just like really hard to see their way through it. It was so messy, you know, but like this kind of compelled them to go on this sort of spiritual quest to clarify their path. And it looks like they have gotten clarity. They've gotten control over their own situation, and we're basically things are shifting where they're overcoming whatever this mess was. So yeah, I'm kind of getting it was like a messy situation that was needing to be overcome. And because this person is having to draw boundaries around all this yuckiness, like I'm getting it was kind of like, it wasn't even necessarily their mess. They just kind of got thrown into it. But now they've been able to finally see a clear way forward, and they're ready to hit the ground running. That's what I'm getting. So then when I pulled down the Magician, what they're manifesting, we got the Knight of Cups, we got the Seven of Wands, we got the Five of Cups, we got the Four of Cups, we got the Eight of Wands, we got the Star, Two of Wands, and then underneath more of this kind of like, I think clarifies whatever the mess is, because it's like almost like judgment is being passed down and disrupting the situation, and there's some good news coming in about maybe some deception that's at the root of whatever this mess was. But as far as manifesting this new beginning, it's like there's good news coming in for this person who's maybe having to defend themselves against whatever this situation was. But it's just sort of like they have kind of clarified to themselves. They've gotten past all the heartbreak and the loss. There's Two Cups that remain for this person. And so like I think they're kind of at the point where they're able to shift their focus, because they've been so focused on the loss and the mess that's just kind of been like everywhere, that it's like almost like they've been missing this opportunity or haven't been able to see it because they've been so distracted by all this whatever it is. But there's this message coming in, and there's like healing and like wishes coming true and recognition for this person who endured whatever this was. And it's it's bringing a turning point. They're manifesting a turning point in their situation and a fresh new start is what I'm getting, which is a super clean message for this full moon, because it's just like, wow, you know, and especially in the context of the reading that I did yesterday, which was called God Save the King. I'll put it up here, and it was all about sort of this ascension of this person sort of like rising above this circumstance, you know, this heartbreaking circumstance. And the reading before that, which was called Legend of the Sword, was sort of all about sort of like kind of having to cut themselves free from whatever situation was kind of holding them back from their personal destiny. So it's like we've gone through all of that, and now it's like this person has ascended to this next level. Oh my gosh. And then when I split, we got the Arrow and the Time Master. So the Time Master speaks about cycles of life and like recurring lessons, you know? So it's like when there's a lesson that you haven't learned, like it keeps recirculating in your life. And there might be different players or different people or different specific situations, but it is kind of like the same lesson replaying over and over again until you learn it. And then when you learn it, oh my gosh, when I picked it up, we got the serpent and the blade. So it's like, this speaks to sort of like coming into alignment with the truth in this certain time, and then awakening, you know, this speaks to an awakening and empowerment, you know, coming into one's power, you know, because they've sort of learned this lesson, and it's allowed them to sort of like step into their power, you know. And this is a card of alignment, because it's sort of like when you release your arrow into the universe, if you're like in alignment with all that is, with your truth and the lesson that's to be learned and what's in the highest good, then your arrow is going to hit the mark, because it's going to have sort of the blessings that are going to help it to hit the target. So yeah, this really speaks to someone overcoming some sort of lesson, like a shadow element, by tuning into their intuition, and that's going to help them, their arrow, to hit the mark, and they're going to be able to overcome whatever this circumstance is. Super, super interesting. Okay, I'm going to go to the Light Seers. But this is really, really, really positive. And yeah, it's almost like this person has been mired in some sort of unsavory circumstance. And it's like really been hard to see their way forward through it, because there's been so much distraction and so much just mess, you know, that they've had to work through. It's almost like they've been sort of like stuck in quicksand, and they're being held back, and they're trying to figure out how to get out of it and move forward. But this kind of speaks to the point where, like, right when I said that the Nine of Cups fell out. So we got the Star and the Nine of Cups, you know, which is like wishes coming true. This person is radiating out from their heart center. But it's just sort of like they've finally gotten clarity, and like it's like almost like they're being lifted up, and then all the mess is just like falling away, and they're kind of like seeing a clear path forward, and they're no longer being held back by the mess, because they've like learned the lesson and they're graduating, you know. So I'm gonna pick one more card. This is really interesting. Okay. All right, so at the bottom we got the Devil. So this came out in yesterday's reading also, the one I posted it earlier. It was about God Save the King. But it's really interesting because this devil, this toxic situation, this person is like tied to it, and there's like these strings, you know, that's like, it's like clouding their vision, you know, because they've got all these strings, and this devil is sort of like, it's like falling into this pit, like this water, but there's these strings that are sort of like clouding this person's vision and like disrupting their path forward, and that's the underlying situation. But what we have is, we have wishes coming true. We have the Seven of Wands, where this person has established this peace. They've reestablished their peace. They've connected to their heart energy, and they're drawing boundaries around themselves. So they're not allowing this chaos and, you know, these disruptive energies to just, you know, interrupt their peace. Like they're creating a safe space for themselves, which is requiring strength, but it's ultimately going to lead to this end, Ten of Swords, of this situation, this super toxic situation. And that's what's going to pave the way so that they can move forward. There was a reading not that long ago, and it was something about like cutting ties from a toxic situation, which leads to abundance. So I think that's going to be relevant here. So I'm going to go to the Queen of the Moon Oracle, since it is a full moon, and see what comes out. But this is a really, really good reading. It's like almost like I'm getting that, you know, it's like a butterfly that's like breaking out of this cocoon. Like they've gone through all this, this sort of transformative experience, and they've kind of had to take a time out, you know, as they've gone through it. But like, this is the moment where they kind of like break out of the cocoon. Okay, so I got Wolf Moon, Hunger. It's interesting because this is actually a harvest moon that we're in, you know. And then we have Nourishment, and we have Self-Love. So that's what's gonna, it's like this person is gonna, it's like following your desires and taking care of yourself. Putting yourself first. It's interesting too, because this has the cheese, and this is relevant for me because I'm a cheese maker. But you know, that's what's needed in order to rise above this circumstance. This person has to take care of themselves, put themselves first, and draw this sort of bubble of safety around themselves, because the circumstances around them are very toxic. But in doing that, and staying in alignment with their heart and their desires, their deepest desires, and nourishing that in this moment of sort of darkness, that's what's going to give birth to this new era. Okay, I'm going to go to the Law of Attraction because, again, since we've been on this kick, this is the deck that I mentioned this in the reading from yesterday, the deck that I got when I went to London. And since, you know, King Charles is ascending the throne at this moment in time, it seems relevant for the energy of this reading. Oh, okay, so I got, wow. So this is what just popped out. It says, within 60 days, it can be mine. So you see all these flowers blossoming around this person. So who's undergoing this transformation. So it's just like, stay focused and stay in alignment, because within 60 days, we're going to see some shift. It says, as you give thought to your future, that may be 10 years or 60 days away. You can begin pre-paving, and then as you move into those pre-paved moments, and as that future becomes your present, you fine-tune it by saying, this is what I now want, and all of those pre-paved thoughts will fit together to bring you precisely the experience that you now want to live. So wow, this is all about this manifestation that this person is creating, this new future beyond the current circumstance that's being birthed. It's really this birth of this new life and this overcoming of some insane circumstance, it looks like. And it was all about kind of pulling your energy inward, focusing on self-love and clarity about what you want to create, and like not letting yourself be distracted by all the noise, you know, creating this bubble of safety, defending that, and protecting your manifestation. And in 60 days, we're going to see some powerful results, is what it looks like. So it's a super huge turning point, and I'm interested to see where we're at 60 days from now. But stay tuned.